Hey, I'm Bobby Maylack. Welcome as always back to The Zone. With me is my buddy Jack Davis.
And we're here today with former Louisville safety and current CEO of LacedFacts, Mike Evans.
Hey, how you doing?
So Mike, welcome to the show. And before we get started, can you just give us a little background?
Well, it all started at Compton High School, playing football there, trying to make it through all the bad circumstances that I have to go through going to school there in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, tell us about what those struggles were. I mean, most people watching this did not have to grow up in an area like Compton. What did you have to deal with every day?
Well, it's getting to school first. It's a lot of gang activities that go on, prostitution, drug dealers, and, once you're actually into the environment of, going to school, everything is a lot better. But outside of the school, that's where it's hard at.
How did you separate then, like, making it out? Like, how did you, get through the day, getting to school, separating football and kind of your life within school with that outside it?
Well, I had a purpose. I had a purpose and a vision and a dream to play college football, so I didn't let anything outside of that distract me.
So let's talk about what it was like actually playing at Compton High. Like, your resources aren't as strong as resources of other schools. You're sometimes playing schools. Like, I know I went to Harvard Westlake, blessed to be a very privileged school. I actually played Compton High in a game one time. So what's that like? Is there a mindset among players? Is there a mindset, like you said, because you're in such a different environment?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's getting out of the environment. Every day we practice hard to change our circumstances,
But is that how much pressure is that? And you think, like, does selfishness come into play with players? Because, in order to get a scholarship, you got to play. Right. So you feel like, are people all in it together? Or, I just wonder what it's like because, football players trying to get a scholarship at a high school who don't have those same challenges, they can just worry about playing well. For you, it's like it could be a very do or die type situation.
Right. Well, at Compton High School, that's all I can speak for. We was all a family. We all came from the same place, so we want to help each other get out of this circumstance we was in. So I block for players harder than anybody else I feel would, because I want to see the next guy get out just like myself.
But like, does that put that extra pressure on you because you are trying to get out?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, your options outside of football. Football is the option of getting out.
Right. Well, like I said, we're a family, and we were so close together. We had pushed each other to get out. We all had a mindset, and on my team, we had a lot of people that got out. Just because we had that same mindset. In the past, I was told that people was selfish, and a lot of people didn't get out. So the fact that we played as a team, it helped more people get out, and we went further in the playoffs.
Do you feel like you had more distractions playing at Compton High School versus like a Harvard Westlake or something?
Oh, yes, definitely. Compton wasn't the only school I went to. I also went to Carson High School and Mayfair. So I saw how it was at different schools playing football, and it was definitely a challenge.
So take us then to after you graduate, Compton High School. What happened next?
Well, through the process of playing football at Compton and being recruited, I was a high recruit. I had 3 stars, on rivalscout.com and everything like that. And, just my size and my speed hurt me. So I had to go to a junior college, which was El Camino. And I chose to go to one of the top prestigious schools like El Camino because I wanted to challenge myself. And when I went there, I had to face, a lot of people that was there getting scholarships, and I didn't. I came with a lot of sophomores that had offers already, so I had to sit on the bench. I had to watch them, and I played special teams.
How hard was that coming back where, like, for 4 years you were fighting to get out, to get that chance to play college football, and then you make JUCO and it's starting over again?
And it's hard. It's hard because this is it. If you don't go to college here, you're forced to stay in this circumstance, get a 9-to-5, which is hard because that's what we're told that this is the way out. So if you don't do this, you're back in the same place in the same environment. So I just had to push.
So one of our mutual friends, Dayton Jones, told me that JUCO players hit the hardest because they're the most desperate. So what's that grind of JUCO like? Because many great players have come from junior college. Cam Newton, there's several NFL players. And all I hear from JUCO players is that it's hell, you're fighting, it's like you almost feel like you're on the ledge. So can you give us an insight into like that experience and how you felt?
Well, I feel that junior college is more people selfish than in high school, because like I said, this is the last chance.
Yeah, that's literally it.
And a lot of people that come from out of state, from Florida, Texas, that come to California, they don't have room and board. It's a lot of different things that they don't have that different states have. So at my school, I was fortunate enough to live down the street from my school. So I was just faced with just the environment I came from and playing the sport. I ate every day, you know, I was still living, you know, I had a house to stay in, but a lot of the players on the team wasn't fortunate enough to have that.
So what's that like when you see a teammate, he doesn't have a place to live, he can't necessarily get food, and do you think like the system of football and fighting for scholarships creates this? We heard about Shabazz Napier talking about, oh, I went to bed hungry every night, and he was at Connecticut, right? So obviously at JC, it's a little bit of a lower level.
Right. Well, a lot of my friends that was on the team, they used to come to my house all the time, and my grandmother used to cook for them, so that helped them out. But it was also people that I knew from other schools that just didn't eat, you know. And when I went to college, a lot of people would have stories about, you know, how it was at college, or college was harder. I mean, the junior college was harder than you guys, and they just talked about days being 10 people in the room, didn't eat, had to all share food, so it's crazy.
Do you think that system was taking care of you? Like, do you feel like that system is taking advantage of the players or helping you guys?
Honestly, it all depends where you go.
Yeah.
You know, at my school, it was, like I said, I like choosing schools it's a family. And if you go to a school that's not like that, you will have them different circumstances that you have to go through.
But, you know, it's amazing, like, how, you know, I don't think people really understand, and I don't understand the mindset of a team at that level, because team sports is a whole different thing.
Right.
And how do you keep a family dynamic when it's like, oh, let's say your friend's another safety, you played safety. If he gets above me, I might not go to the next level. I might not get a scholarship to D1. I might not be able to eat. How do you stay friends in that situation?
That's what you face, especially in the summer camp, when you don't know this person. And
it's hot.
And it's hot. You know,
you're in the valley. It's,
right.
It's really
and everybody leave from their circumstances and come to this one place, and we all fight for one spot. And at that point in time, it's like me against you. It's a competition, which everybody in sports face, you know. And after it, you know, we talk and we're like, you know, that's a good job. And I think that's what players have to do to start, you know, building that team and that family atmosphere is taught.
So do politics come into play here? Because, like, on The Zone, we've talked about how coaches play a role.
Right.
And, you know, we talk about, oh, this guy giving you playing time. But for you, if your secondary coach doesn't like you, let's say you just goes and he just doesn't like you, he could be costing you a chance to live.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how hard is it to relate to coaches and, like, making sure you keep your, you know, your head on a swivel with coaches and the politics in that?
That's big. That's big. I've never faced that. I was always a good kid as far as having my grades in order and, you know, working hard. But a lot of players that didn't work hard and got on the coach's bad side, they never got the chance to play. So I feel like it's on the player to create that good relationship with the coaches to be able to get on the field.
So what's next after this? So you're at JUCO. You get a scholarship. Tell us about that.
It's funny because I talk about it all the time. I was at practice one day, and remember, I wasn't a starter the year before. In my sophomore year, I ended up getting a starting job, and Memphis came to see me. And they said, no, he's too short, he's not fast enough. I'm like, man, I'm hearing this again. But I ran from a football practice to track practice right over, and it caught the coach's eye. They said, man, let me look more into this kid. And I used to always keep my DVD player in my backpack, so they couldn't say, "Oh, we don't have film on you." I have the film right here, you know. And
I love
when
that.
they did that, when they did that, you know, I showed them. It was like, wow. They tripped me the next day to Memphis, and when I went to Memphis, it was cool there, but it was so far away from home. On my way back, I got a call from Nevada, because you know how recruiting is. One school wants you, you know, everybody else start jumping on, and it was a blessing that they called me. And I took a trip there and I committed.
So let's talk about the recruiting process, because recruiting, it's a dirty game in a lot of ways. It's a dangerous game. It's muddled with politics from the highest level to, you know, mid-tier colleges, even to D3, I feel like. So can you talk about, like, your recruiting experience, what it was like, you know, from Nevada coaches, and, you know, the pitfalls, the ups, the downs?
My first recruiting trip, I didn't know what to expect. I talked to a lot of my friends about what to expect. There's like you party and different things like that, but I had my family come with me on it. So it was, the coaches really couldn't just say anything to me at that point in time, because I had people here with me that was listening in.
Do you think that was a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh yeah, that was a good thing. A lot of kids aren't fortunate enough to have that, so when they go by themselves, the coaches can say whatever they want. They'll show you all the glitz and the glamour, and once you're there, you know. But I had family to come, and I got to see how the school looked, and, you know, I made the decision to go to Nevada.
So you talk about when you're alone, or players alone, coaches can say whatever they want because it's easier to kind of bullshit a kid if he's alone than if with his dad or his mom. So what are some of the stories you might have heard from players like, oh, they told me this, they told me that? Because, you know, we've talked about this before, the hypocrisy of the NCAA. Coaches can leave and face no penalty, but if a player leaves, he's got to sit out a year, even though he might have gone there in the first place because the coach said something that wasn't true. So do you have any stories like that of, you know?
I think the biggest thing is telling the player that he's going to start or what position he's going to play. So for a kid that's going to a school, don't go there saying, okay, this coach said I'm going to start. They show you like, oh, this is the #1 jersey you're going to wear. Like, don't go there looking at that. Look at more than that. Look at, you know, the academics. Can you see yourself living here after football? You know, that's a big thing. A lot of people go to the Nevadas or go to school outside of the state and they come back home and your resources is in the state that you play football in, you know, and that's the biggest thing, not listening to the glitz and the glamours or looking at that. Look for stuff that's longevity for you.
And do you think do you think players can get treated unfairly? Because you see in the news sometimes players get crushed when they have a bad attitude. This guy's not a team player. This guy's not, you know, he's selfish. He's pouting about being taken out.
How much of that is their circumstance?
How much of their circumstances? And like, you know, we talk about, like, I like how you say, you know, being hungry, like literally physically hungry.
Right.
Because how upset must a player be if he feels like this coach is unfairly taking away my opportunity, my future, my life?
Right. Well, a lot of people that come in, like we said, they're hungry, they want to play right now, and for a coach to take that away, you know, it's hard for a kid, but at the same time, you just have to go there knowing your purpose, your time will come, and choose a school that fits you, and then everything else will come.
So tell us about your experience at Nevada. Like, you get on campus, what's next?
Honestly, when I went to Nevada, it was the summer, so it was hot. I wasn't ready for the cold and the snow. When it started snowing, it changed my outlook on Nevada. It was hard to wake up and go to class. You know, this is my first time actually going to school where I have to wake myself up to go to school. You know, the football atmosphere was something new because I played JUCO, 200 people in the stands. You know, now I have 15,000 people in the stands rooting for me. So it was a great experience in that look at it. But, you know, it wasn't a big university for me. You know, I always looked forward to playing at bigger schools. I played against Texas Tech, against Michael Crabtree, and it was just looking at how big they fans was compared to mine, you know. But
how much jealousy was there in that?
It's huge, you know, but that makes us feel like we're the underdog and we got to go out and play, which I love being an underdog because I was that my whole life. But, you know, just as being in the school and after football season, I think that's where everything turned. You know, for me, I tore my ACL during the season at the end, right before Boise State. And I was forced to be there, you know, after the season with a hurt ACL, and it wasn't healing. So I ended up getting sent back home.
What do you mean by sent back home? Like, what was the school doing to take care of you? Like, they're selling you on this as a family, and then they say they send you home.
Right. Well, the NCAA makes it where you have to renew your contract, per se, every year. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom or you're not playing on the field, like to their standards, they can send you home and not renew your scholarship. So where it hurt me at is I wasn't playing on the field at that point in time. And, you know, scholarships, they need more kids coming in because there's players coming out. And I was sent home because it wasn't looking like I can play again.
But that's ridiculous because you didn't ask to get hurt, right? Like,
you got hurt because you were playing football.
Like
you're playing football. They brought you there to play football. You weren't
failing out of your classes.
Right.
So, like, how much of like a wake up call was that in life? Where like, wow, these people, you know, they don't care about me because, you know, you obviously, the fact that you got hurt means you were playing, which means as a freshman you were good enough to play.
Right.
So, like, how much of a wake up call was it? Like, you know, they're not out here to help me. They're sending me home when I'm at my lowest point.
Right, it's huge, you know, but I talked to some of my friends and they was like, you know, it's not like that at other programs, you know, and you just have to, you know, have faith that wherever you go next time will be better and not have that, you know, animosity towards every program because then it won't get better for you.
But even though it might not be like that at every program, there is programs like that where they will send you home.
Definitely.
So for you, what do you think the fans at home don't see? What do you think, you know, especially, you know, you see like in this picture, you know, we have here a view at Louisville, the arena full. How surprised are those you know, all those fans in the arena of the school to learn the cutthroat nature? Do you think, you know, what stories can you share or bring to light?
Well, college is a business, and I don't think that they look at that and that, perspective. They look at it as if it's an amateur sport, like it's a Pop One or a high school. This is a business. We practice every day. We're at the stadium pretty much throughout the day, and we have school in between them times, but it's really football. And I think the fans need to know that what you see from us is, the hard work that we put in throughout the whole week and the stress that we go through, the nights not being able to sleep at night. I tore my labrums while I was playing, so I could not sleep at night, but I knew that I had to keep fighting to get out the situation.
Yeah. So you get sent home. How do you get out of that situation?
I had a guy by the name of Eric Knowles. He took me in and trained me. I wasn't fortunate enough to have money to go to a training facility.
Yeah, so you're sent home just alone.
Right.
Well, tell me about that feeling first.
It's cold.
Like you've worked so many battles to get to the next level. You finally get to Nevada playing, major D1 football. You get hurt, just sent packing.
You're out of you get out of Compton, they literally send you back home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cold because.
How much time did you spend? Did you think about quitting? Like, what was next?
I never been a quitter, so my mindset was get back right and get back playing again. I didn't know where I was gonna play, but I knew I was gonna play again. And the situation just being home, going back to people getting killed. I lost friends while I was back at home. So I'm thinking like, man, can I be next? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what am I doing if I'm not doing football? And that's where I had to find myself. And Eric Knowles, he brought me in and trained me, not just my physical ability, but my mental. He got my mind right. And after that, I took my talents to Louisville.
How did that happen? I mean, you're back in Compton, you're training, you're trying to get that chance. How did you, get that chance at like a major program like Louisville?
Right. It's crazy because I tell everybody, I thought it. I premeditated my whole life from that point. And my friend Cameron Graham, he played for the St. Louis Rams. He called me and he said, Mike, why don't you come play here? We know that you can play. Just come out here and just try out. If you make the team, you make it. If you don't, you don't. You can't hurt by trying out. So, I got a little job, made a little money to fly a one-way flight to Louisville. The coaches didn't know me. Nobody had no idea who I was when I showed up.
So you're just showing up?
I just showed up.
And you got a one-way ticket?
One-way ticket.
Wow. So you had to just get a little side job, get a one-way ticket,
right.
And what was your plan if it didn't work out?
I never even thought that. I said it's going to work out, and it was a new coaching staff there, so it gave me more of a chance to play. So I said, it's a new coaching staff. They never seen them play. They never saw me play. So it's a clean slate for everybody. And when I went there, they had a team meeting. I missed the workout for the walk-ons. So I didn't get a chance to work out. So I went to the team meeting and I sat in there like I was one of the players, and people looking at me like, man, I know you ain't on the team. And I was just stayed and listened to where the program was headed, and I loved it. And after I talked to Coach Strong, I said, Coach Strong, Mike Evans, he was like, who are you? Like, he looked at me like,
in this room right now?
Yeah, how did you get here? And I just said, I played at Nevada. I want to walk on at this program. Looked him in his eye. He said, I appreciate, you coming up here and you want to play for us. Go talk to the defensive coordinator. So I went to go talk to Vance Befford. He said, you won't play here, but you'll be on the practice squad, basically, practicing, and you have to keep a high GPA. And they enrolled me into the school. If they told me I'd be able to enroll into school if I get a scholarship, but that's by far hard because they're just here and they're not giving out scholarships to walk-ons. And, every day, we have practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 3. I get off the couch that I was sleeping on. I walk up there by myself. I didn't ask nobody for help. I went up there. I had my mind on getting a scholarship. Every time we ran, I came in first place. It wasn't one time I didn't come in first place. I was the smallest, but I lifted with the linemen. I was benching like almost 405 at that point in time. It was crazy.
That's what I bench too, so I know how hard that is, yeah.
So, I was told, use my strengths to be able to play, which my strength was my hard work, my determination, my smartness for the game, and my strength. So I always used that, and come practice, the coach said, man, I heard about your hard work that you did, and I want you to push one of the starters. He hasn't been going hard, so I want you to push him. You're not going to start, I just want you to push them to make them a
make
better
it look
player.
like you're going to
Yeah, make them a better player.
So you're just a ploy, you're just a tool to
basically to help the team, you know, out in the long run. So you say, okay, I accept that challenge, you know. So now I'm going with the second string. So I'm like, okay, this is my chance to play. And you know, I had interceptions every day. I start knocking players out, hitting them hard, sending them to the training room. They was like, who is this guy? You know?
Players on offense pissed off about this?
Oh, yeah.
How much harder are you going than everybody in practice?
They was, but at the end of the day, it was the summer, and everybody respected how hard I worked. So I had already the respect of the team.
So there's no resentment from other players saying, like, this guy's making us look bad?
No, because they wanted to win at that point in time. And I heard that the coaching staff came together as one and said, how many people want to give Mike Evans a scholarship? And they said, if one person didn't stand up, I wouldn't get a scholarship. And everybody stood up, and I started the first game versus Kentucky.
So you go all this way, you come this far. What was it like playing in Louisville? Now you're on a top team under Coach Strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was an amazing coach. You win a bowl game.
Right.
How does it feel to have that struggle and then reach the pinnacle?
It's great because being at Nevada, looking at the big teams like Texas Tech, like, man, I wonder what's going on in their locker room. I wonder what they get that we don't get. And now I'm on a big program, and I'm starting. So now I'm looking at it in a different perspective, and I still want to go hard. I still want to, you know, overcome everything that I've been through, and I'm still the underdog at the same time because our program was still on the rise. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I just wanted to, you know, go hard and take the team to a championship game.
So just as a fan, I'm really curious, what's it like then? Because when you move from high school to JUCO to Nevada to Louisville, now a top program, you're playing with and against top players. Right. So what's that like being around the top guys? You know, what's there, having that skill level, having those fans in the stands, having the stakes be high in the game?
Well, this is what you get from top programs that you don't get from small programs, the confidence. Everybody at the Division I level, at the big colleges, they all know and they all have a mindset that I am the best. Yeah. And I am going to the NFL. At the smaller schools, it's like, okay, I'm here, I want to just get my degree, and whenever you play against a team, it's just like I'm just playing.
So obviously that's a great thing on the field, but most players who play college football are not making the NFL.
Right.
Do you think that that's a bad system? Because you're setting something up where a lot of these guys aren't caring about their education and looking for what's next outside of football. They're saying it's the NFL or bust.
Right. Well, that's how everybody is at the top level, but like I said, it all depends on the program that you go to. Yeah. What's their values? If the values is just NFL, this is all the people that we got in the NFL, that's what you're going to get. Now, if the values is more of, you know, this is our academic level and these are the people that's getting degrees out of here, then that's the kind of programs you want to go to.
So you almost did go to the next level. Let's talk about graduating from Louisville, your pro day, and then how you came to where you are now with LacedFacts.
Right. LacedFacts actually came while I was in Louisville my first year. I started seeing, like, how is this different from Nevada, and how is it, you know, similar to Nevada? And, you know, through the whole process, I had a chance to go to the NFL, but, you know, I just always felt like nobody is giving this message from players' perspective and letting the kids know, like, just don't look at the jerseys. Don't just look at the stadium. You know, it's more into it if you want to be successful. So that's how it really came about.
So tell us more about LacedFacts, the athletes you're working with, and it's been great hearing your story. I mean, you have an inspiring story, and how you're going to translate those experiences, those hardships, into LacedFacts, what players you work with, and what the message you're really trying to give to young kids is.
Right. Well, we pretty much work with everybody, really.
And can you tell us just a little more about, like, what it actually is? Like, you sign up because, you know, we want everyone to be able to get the details. Right.
So what you'll do is you'll sign up to, you know, www.lacedfacts.com, and you will, you know, just follow our page, which is LacedFacts, and you will hear different stories from the Teddy Bridgewaters, the Dayton Jones, the Altron Verners, and they'll tell you what they went through at the school. You know, the hard times that they had when they was at the program, and how, you know, they adapted better than at other schools, what other schools had to offer. And we kind of like balance them out and have the kids just look at it and take in as much information as they can.
So what would you say your overall mission is? Because, you know, like I said, you have such wisdom to offer. Right. What's the overall mission of LacedFacts?
The mission is pretty much to help the kids when they go to the schools. You know, so let's say that I'm a kid, didn't get a scholarship offer, and I'm going to Nevada. I want to know, you know, how many times do I eat a day? You know, the summers you really don't eat that much. I didn't know that. You know, you have to get a summer job. Didn't know that. Had to talk about, you know, going to class every day. You know, I never experienced that. I have an older brother or a parent that went to school. So this is an outlet for kids to be able to connect and to engage with, you know, professional athletes or players that didn't go to the NFL and talk about why I didn't make it. Don't do the same thing I did.
What are the mistakes you see most often? Like, what is it that youth athletes always are repeatedly doing wrong? Like, what do you see that you can fix?
I won't say fix, but I will let them know, don't go to school with just a party mindset. People go to school and say, oh, there's girls here. You know, they've been to high school and they don't see these type of girls at their school, so they lose their mind and they're clubbing, they're doing things that they don't normally do. I just want kids to understand that you can do that, have room for that, but at the same time, know why you're there, know how you got there, and that's by being focused on football and academics.
I think girls is the reason more than just college athletes fail at college. I think all male college students, who go wrong.
Right.
But you know, I really love, you know, your message, and I love how you're teaching it. So, what stories do you take from besides just yourself? We've heard your story. What have you seen really that, you know, among teammates, friends, you know, even just coaches, that is the root causes of some of the problems?
Some of the problems is probably telling kids that they're going to play. You know, I see it all the time, and you go into meeting rooms and they say, oh yeah, you're going to play, and then when they don't play, they lose
crushed.
hope. Yeah, they lose hope.
I mean, we're all optimists. We all think we're the best, so going into that, it's easy.
Especially when you're telling your parents that, oh, I'm about to play this week, you know, and the parents fly out and then you're not playing. You know, that's things that crush these players, because we're young at that point in time, you know, and all these players are the man at their high school. So now it's a lot of players that's all your same level, and when the coach tell you that you're going to play and you don't, you never went through that before.
So have you guys looked at bringing in coaches as well? Because it's like players are on a certain playing field, but like I feel like a huge piece of this is this disconnect between coaches understanding what the average everyday player goes through. Because you look at these D1 coaches, they're making millions of dollars a year. They don't see the struggle necessarily.
Right. Well, we actually going to have coaches actually talk as well on our platform.
Amazing.
And let the kids know, like, this is what we expect. You know, because a lot of kids try to run the program when they get there and and we want to let them know that this is what I've been through, but this is how the coaches run their program as well. So if you're not doing what the coaches want you to do, you're not going to play. Yeah. You know, so that's the biggest thing, because every school is different. Every school has the same type of similarities that they do at the program. So we just want the kids to know as much as, like, Oregon is this way, Nevada is this way, but they are similar in this way. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to go through that, you know, that's your choice.
Now, this is an absolutely incredible program, but before we go, I want to take a sec to segue real quick and talk about the quarterback position. You got to play in college with a first-round NFL draft pick in Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
Before that, you got to play with NFC champion in Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
What is it about, like, those guys that got him to this level?
Man, first of all, I was blessed to play with them. They're both are inspiring, and they both have a winner personality. You know, everything they do, they try to win. You know, I used to play Teddy in PlayStation till like 4 in the morning, trying to beat him, and he would not let me beat him. You know what I'm saying? So anything that we do, you know, paper, rock, scissors, anything that we do, they want to win. And just being around that type of, you know, person, it'll bring that upon you, and it'll make you want to be that way. And when you play against other people, you don't slack up. You don't let them win.
And do you want to kind of create that internal culture in LacedFacts, where, like, the people who are part of the program are creating a culture of, we want to win, push the kids to get better?
Right, definitely. Teddy has a thing called GUMP, greatness under major pressure, you know, and, you know, we gonna have a lot of his people that's a part of his, you know, greatness under major pressure, talk to the kids and let them know, like, you know, this is what it takes to be great under bad circumstances. This is what it takes to be the best when everything is not going your way.
And before we let you go, what's the one last message you want to say, the overall message of your experience, LacedFacts? If you could put it into one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
It'll be, you know, just, you know, have a vision and, you know, believe in, you know, your circumstances, and believe that everything will be all right no matter what you choose. Once you make a choice to go somewhere, you made that choice, you made that decision. Now, move forward and be the best that you can be.
Can you tell everyone where to find more information about LacedFacts and follow you?
Yeah, you can go to Instagram or Twitter and follow LacedFacts. That's it.
All right, well, Mike, thank you so much. Honestly, an incredibly inspiring story.
Appreciate it.
I feel really motivated to go run right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and run up the hill or something.
Jack's gluten-free. He needs it. He's fighting.
Yeah. Well, that was another episode of The Zone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to go to LacedFacts.com to follow Mike Evans on Twitter to follow LacedFacts. And we will be back next week with another episode.